We complete the Chiefin crossover with Lonny Harris as he talks about being a part of Chiefs Kingdom and Red Kingdom Media. What does he think about the Ravens game and the upcoming Bengals game? Find out on the home of the Chiefs. Welcome, Chiefs Kingdom. Thanks for tuning in to this Red Kingdom Media production, bringing you raw, authentic Chiefs coverage. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on your team. Now sit back and enjoy the show. Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of the Home of the Chiefs podcast, where the Chiefs are our home. We are your hosts, Clinton and Shannon, joined with you. And today, for week 2, we've got a very special guest. We, as I said in the intro, we complete our Chiefin crossover, and we have the one Lonny from Chiefin. So how are you doing today, sir?
Good. Happy to be here. Happy to be featuring on the Home of the Chiefs podcast. Excited.
Happy to have you. Can't wait to hear your side of the story. Talking with Dale's always a fun time, but I'm ready to kind of get the flip side of the coin. I want the yang to the yin. Mm-hmm. So I'm ready to get all the details about your life as well. So let's go ahead and jump in to our first topic, which is all about our pal Lonny here and kind of learning about how he got into the Chiefs Kingdom and then kind of how he joined up with us and has been with us for the last 2 years. So to get all the fun history, backstory type questions out of the way, how long have you been a Chiefs fan?
Pretty sure, like a lot of other people will say this, been Kansas City natives like myself. I've been a Chiefs fan my whole life. Born to the native state of Kansas back in 1998. Ever since I can remember, really want to say like first grade probably, watching the Chiefs. That's being a Chiefs fan. The Tony Gonzalez teams, the Matt Castle teams, the Trent Green teams. I actually played flag football for the Tigers out here. I'm not sure what league it was in. And I played against Trent Green's son, actually. Trent Green's son, who also went to Rockhurst as well and played quarterback. So just ever since a young child, I can remember first grade as early as I can remember being a Chiefs fan. Really just coming into my fandom, falling in love with those teams, even though we didn't win anything, but just learning how to like kind of live and die with every Chiefs win and loss. Put your hope in the things that maybe you shouldn't probably be. When you look back on, your hope was really far-fetched, but as a kid, you don't know that. You're just kind of living and dying on the hill that your team is winning and losing on. So that's just what I was doing, and it was some heartbreaking losses and hard times there, losing seasons. A ton of different coaches, but that's where I really found my love for my Chiefs fandom. Just ever since a kid, since a child.
We have to get all those answers out of the way, and I'm one like that we're not bandwagon. And it's not just because Patrick Mahomes came into the picture, and that's why everything's kind of building up and becoming larger. But we was there down in the dirt. In those down years, and was still repping red on Fridays. So
it's not just because Taylor Swift is here now.
Oh, correct.
Yeah, and I like to tell people, it was hard. We went through a lot of turmoil as a fan base. If you just go back and look at Chiefs history, we went through a lot of just heartbreaking. They're like heartbreaking, drastic losses, like where we're winning games and they're just like. The team comes back. Like I can just think of Indianapolis Colts, that loss, like the Tennessee loss, but like those are just a few of recent memory, but there were ones before that, like the loss against the Steelers, the famous holding call in the red zone. So like there are heartbreaking losses as Chiefs fans that really build up these calluses to where it's like this is not any like fair weather thing. This is really a thing that we love and we become passionate about because we went through so much heartache and heartbreak.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So you already mentioned it. I mean, you're from local, so tell us tell us who you rep and what your neighborhood and all that stuff is, and where you claim KC.
Yeah, so I was born. I'm a native. I'm born in Kansas, and I think Clinton is doing this to get at me. I was born in Kansas, Overland Park, Kansas, but I was raised in Kansas City, Missouri, South Kansas City. Went to school in the inner city, Kansas City, Missouri School District with Southeast High School. So um, I'm a Missouri fan. So when it comes to picking a side of the border and I have to choose one, I'm picking Missouri. Unfortunately, my mom's side is from Holt Summit, Missouri. My dad's side is from Paola, Osawatomie, Kansas. Um, and I was raised on my mom's side, so my roots just reside in Missouri. I mean, I know I was born in Kansas. Um, I love my family that is from Kansas, but I've never been a KU fan when it comes to placing my roots somewhere and picking a team. My team is Missouri. I'm sorry.
You're not hurting my feelings.
No, definitely.
And yes, I was aware you are from the Kansas side. We are both as well, and all three of us ended up on the Missouri side. So it's not pointing favorites, but so
we go to Topeka to get our birth certificates. Okay, so I still have to go with you guys. I still got to drive. Obviously, which is kind of cool for me because if I was born in Missouri, I had to be driving to Jefferson City. Well, I could go downtown. They say you can go downtown too, but I gotta go. Oh yeah, go to Topeka if I need anything. So yeah.
Shout out to Top City, getting a shout out on the Home of Chiefs podcast. Shout out to those who know Top City for real. Okay, back to Chiefs, back to the normal topics here. Tell the people at home what your game day routines are for preparing for a Chiefs game up until the point that you hop into one of these places and we record a live stream for the lovely folks.
Yeah, so for a couple years now, my routine has been I'm usually getting up. If depending on what the day is, we've been playing a lot on prime time lately, so I'm working through the week. But usually it's a day where it's everything ceased. And I like to I talk to Dale about it a lot. He's not here anymore, and he doesn't get to feel it, but like it's a different feeling in the city if you're from Kansas City and it's game day. Like you'll know the stores will be empty, or like the shelves will start to get cleared around Super Bowl time. Rotel and stuff, cheese is hard to find. Like certain stuff you can just start to see they put chips out, and a lot of promo and stuff goes on, so you can just feel it. You can feel the game day feeling around. So I'm usually everything is off. I got me a pack of usually got me some Michelob Ultra. Sometimes I drink my Michelob Ultra. Got me a pack of Michelob Ultra. I'm not talking. I'm really not taking any calls. I'm probably talking to Dale. We might be texting in the Red Kingdom Media chat. Just kind of prepping my mind, looking at different. While I watch a lot of press conferences, being that I work from home, so I can listen to them. So I listen to press conferences kind of to get me ready, just to see what the guys are saying, seeing how they're kind of feeling. I kind of want to be as close as I can to the team. I mean, I know I can't be there, so I just kind of want to just gauge their feelings, see how what they're feeling, what they're saying going into the game. And then like I said, it's no talking. I'm usually if we've been winning and I had a shirt on, I'm a baseball guy through and through. So if whatever's been working, we're gonna keep it whatever it is. So if I've been wearing a shirt, I'm putting the shirt on. If it's been no shirt, then no shirt is going on. So that means a Chief shirt per se. I'm not just walking in here in bare shirt, no shirt. Well, no, I'm just saying if there's a Chief shirt being worn, a Chief shirt will be worn every game until we start losing. And then once we start losing, Chief shirt's coming off. So it just depends. I know I talk to Dale a lot throughout the games. It's just kind of been a ritual that we have. We call each other on the possession. We don't really talk through every game. We don't talk the entire game. We will only talk possession to possession. And it's via FaceTime. It's kind of weird, but it's like it kind of has to be done. It's kind of like not a play-by-play, but just kind of like checking in with your offensive coordinator or like your coordinator every other drive or just something. It's kind of weird, but just like what you seeing, this is what I'm seeing. So that's kind of just been a thing ever since, really since we met. So that's just kind of my game day ritual until the game ends and then until we come in here. So that's kind of what I do as far as game day.
Any specifics when it comes to your watching the game environment? Any particulars that have to be there or non-negotiables that can't be there?
No, it has to be like I have to be watching it where I watched it. Like since we've been winning the Super Bowl, like I said, I'm a baseball guy. This really sounds weird. You guys might you're a weirdo. I gotta watch it wherever I've been watching it at. Like when we won, I'm not changing my spot. And it kind of comes from my big brother too. He's like that too as well. He won't like if he's been watching it at home by himself. He's not going nowhere. He's going home and watching it by himself. Like so, and just like right now, we're in the Coast Mill with the Royals. Just to let you guys know, KC through and through. I'm not watching Royals games because I just told Clinton for. I think we're losing. I'm cutting it out my life. So, but yeah, I think that's what I have to do. I have to be watching it in the same spot that I watched it when we won. So like that's just what I've been doing ever since we won Super Bowls.
Okay, I feel you.
Yeah.
You're not alone, Lonnie. I've definitely watched a game. Thought the shirt I was wearing was somehow contributing to a loss taking place, and felt the need to change out of that and switch something up. So you're not the only superstitious fan out there, and I'm sure we're not the only ones out there too. Plenty of people who listen to this, I'm sure, have theirs. If you've got your own weird, quirky game day things or some fan rituals that you guys partake in, leave them in the comments below. We love to hear all about it.
Yes.
So Lonnie, I mean, it may be the easy, soft answer to say Dale to this one, but if we're getting real soft and sentimental, who do you think of most in your life when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs?
To be honest, when it comes to the Chiefs, I take it back to like just like my uncles, the people that kind of like put me, brought me to my fandom as a child. I go all the way back to it was a preseason. Dexter McCluster. I want to say the Dexter McCluster, the year that we kind of went like on the winning streak there, and then kind of like I think it's the year that really of the holding call against Eric Fisher. We kind of like we were like winning a lot of games. We thought we were going to make a run. And this is when I think Le'Veon Bell and the Killer Bees came to town. But that preseason, I had went to a preseason game, and I'm like, man, the Chiefs look good. Like, the Chiefs look nice. And my uncle's like, no, like they're not good. Like you're just saying that they look good. Like I'm saying that they look good. I'm in a preseason game. Like I don't know. I'm a kid. I'm just saying, like, yeah, the Chiefs look good. Of course they look good. It's a preseason game. You're watching backups go against backups. You're not even really watching real football. But the Chiefs ended up being good that year. And my uncle was like, he come back later in the year. He's like, hey, you were right. You were right. The Chiefs actually were good. I guess they really did look good that year. So I'm like, that was one that like kind of stood out and just like really kind of brought me to my fandom too. I was like, dang, I could see when a player is in good form, but I probably really couldn't even see it. But we probably just had a good team around the player, a good team around the players that we had. I remember Charlie Weiss was a part of the coaching staff. I remember seeing Charlie Weiss was on the scooter. If you can recall, like Charlie Weiss, I remember Charlie Weiss riding out on a scooter. So like, yeah, like I remember just infamous stories like that. Like I don't think anyone has been like a Chiefs fan as long as I've been a Chiefs fan, but I know people have, but it's like infamous stories like that. Just the Charlie Weiss story, seeing Charlie Weiss, and yeah, like I said, like Dexter McCluster days, seeing him in preseason. That's really what I got to attribute my fandom to is my uncles really just taking me to those games as a kid, sitting me down and making me watch Chiefs games even when we're losing, stomaching them against my uncle has a friend that's a Raiders fan, Mr. Tyrone Flowers. He runs a non-profit organization, Higher Impact, that helps high-risk urban youth in the inner city of Kansas City. He's a Raiders fan through and through. So any losses, heart-aching losses, he would make me sit there and eat them with Mr. Flowers. So like just stomaching hard losses, learning what it is to be a fan, not being able to run from anything. So my uncles, I got to attribute that to my uncles for sure.
And so let the record show that most of the time the Chiefs have family ties and the preseason. So a story about my dad, rest in peace. When Mahomes was getting the start, I remember him telling me in preseason, well, you know, Chad Henne looks a little better, actually. I think maybe we should start Chad Henne. And I had to just smile and nod to him and think, Oh boy, you old timer, you don't know what's coming. I don't know if me or anybody else like truly had expectations, but I knew we were in for something good. But clearly, it has blossomed to something far grander than any of us could imagine. So it is very true, and most of the people that we've communicated to or talked to in types of capacities like this, it all comes down to family, and whether it was like direct family impact or a family figure of some type, but it always runs deep, and so that's what we love to see. So Chiefs Kingdom is all about building a community, and I think us in particular with Red Kingdom Media are building that. So before I finish these other type of Chiefs questions, let's go ahead and address that. Lonny, why don't you tell the audience how you ended up joining us in the capacity that you are currently?
Originally, we started the podcast. Chiefin, I started the podcast with Dale, a long friend. Chiefin, we were with a company, which we met you and Shannon through, and then we came together as Red Kingdom Media, and started the Chiefin podcast. And me and Dale kind of really just hit it off ever since we were with the other company, kind of just working with each other, talking about the Chiefs, breaking down games, doing the same thing we do now. And then we came together, about a year ago, I want to say, just as a group, just like you said, longtime fans, just want to start a media company, show that we're thriving, trying to just be an independent media company that's on the come up, trying to promote ourselves. So that's really how I came together with Dale, and that's kind of where Chiefin came from, and how the Chiefin podcast came about, and we got to Red Kingdom Media.
Yes, sir, and I'm happy to have you guys. Love having your perspective. A lot of the times we've had shows, we've thought a lot alike, but a lot of times in our conversations and chats and text threads, we're like polar opposites. So it's funny that sometimes the audience sees us and they're like, oh, they're the same person all the time. It's like, actually, no, we like disagreed a lot today. So it's just interesting how that ends up sometimes. But yeah, I'm very glad to have you on board, and you and Dale as a dynamic duo. Love getting your guys' perspective on stuff, and let this be kind of a shout out to anybody out there who's listening and wants to be able to do something like this, whether on your own or possibly joining us in some capacity. Just meet people who are like you and like the same stuff as you, and want to see you do good and become better at life in general, and just hold on to those people and let them kind of help you through life, and you'll end up in a far better place and somewhere you never possibly imagined. So it's only been a year. Here's to several years to come, and who knows, maybe we will get to be covering the team in person, and you'll be at a press conference instead of just watching one from your living room one. So.
And we will be is what he's saying, what he meant to say, you guys. We will be. We're just building. And like he said, get to know people that are like you and are willing to get on the same page as you, and are willing to grow, and willing to push the envelope per se, in certain areas. The Chiefs are slowly becoming the biggest team in America. So I mean, if you can learn how to cover it in the right capacity, I feel like anybody can thrive, and why not us? Is what I say.
Manifestations. That's what we're going for here. We're just preaching out here.
Yep.
Okay, let's finish up these Chiefs fandom related questions. So if you could bring back a Chiefs player of any type, of any capacity on this roster, who do you think would make this team even more unstoppable?
Man, I'm going Jamal Charles, prime Jamal Charles. You want to talk about a one-man wrecking crew at running back? Like, this is back when you had to have a running back that you had to go for 1,000 yards. You were getting 100 touches in a year for sure. You were the bell cow stable back. That's who Jamal Charles was. So I want that. I want the Jamal Charles that was getting a ton of touches of the 5.5. I want him on the roster. Somebody Mahomes can turn around, hand the ball off to. Is going to make the first guy miss. That's going to get, like I said, 5.5. He's at least getting 5 yards. He's getting into you in the second, your third and short, second and short situations. We got a person that's going to feast, Travis Kelce. It would have been reminiscent of the Killer Bees, but it would have been probably worse because 5.5 yards a carry is like ridiculous. And then the speed was crazy. So just thinking about how Andy Reid would have used him, running him all over the place, kind of probably motioning him out the backfield. He still motions Pacheco. He motions those guys out. I seen the play during the Ravens game where it's Carson Steele and Pacheco were both out of the backfield on the empty set. So Jamal Charles has to be the guy that I will bring back for sure. It's just the speed element. I mean, especially with Xavier Worthy right now, to have two guys that could take the top off like Jamal Charles and Xavier Worthy, I don't think it will be anything like that. I know people love Dante Hall. I know people like Dale love Dwayne Bowe. People got all their people. I know some people love Will Shields and Lyman and all other people. Alex Smith. No, I'm going with Jamal Charles, another playmaker, to go alongside Patrick Mahomes. Not only to run the ball, but I just want to see him in the pass game too. I think that would have added a whole nother element to the game. Him out, if you split him out wide, he was a killer on screens, reminiscent of the Oakland game. He had some against the Patriots at home too, where he just murdered in the screen game because his speed and just how he knew how to utilize blocks. So Jamal Charles has to be the one for me that I'll bring back and put on the team.
And don't sell him short. I believe he had I can't remember if it was 5 or 6 touchdowns in that game in 2013 with Andy Reid as his coach. So if Andy Reid could have just joined us, a half a decade earlier, obviously wouldn't have Patrick Mahomes because he would have done bubble just to see that Jamal Charles in full effect. But it's Andy Reid. Is he really going to let him run the ball that much anyway? But
probably not.
Oh, that's for another day. Is it safe to say Jamal Charles is your all-time favorite Chief?
I was just having this conversation today. I mean, a couple days ago with Dale. I think that has shifted, actually. Being that we've won some Super Bowls now, being some guys that just are like significant, just like the significance of their careers. I can't say that Jamal Charles is my all-time favorite Chief. To actually put it out there, I might have to put Tyrann Mathieu in that vein now. Being the guy that he was, the career that he had coming before he came to Kansas City, kind of the adversity that he faced with the knee injuries, being that super duper just like next to Charles Woodson type DB in college, and then being able to come here and kind of channel all of that energy and channel who he was in his college career and almost play at a defensive player of the year type of level. I mean, it's second to none. I love DBs, and it would have been him or Eric Berry, Jamal Charles or Eric Berry, but I think like Tyrann might have just like took it for me because it's just like when you go back and look at stuff. And I seen this on the comments on the franchise. They were like, 20 years from now, when our kids watch the franchise and they see what we went through, like they might come to tears. Like this, to be able to relive what we're living through now is kind of like crazy. So like, just sitting there kind of like thinking about the season that Tyrann Mathieu he had and what he did for the Chiefs secondary, coming here, flipping it around. We were horrible the year before that. Coming in just like leading the pack, guarding the number 1 wide receiver, getting interceptions. Like when you go and sit back and just look at it, it's like the impact that he had on this team, I think just like it kind of stamped Steve Spagnuolo. It stamped everything that he was doing. It was kind of like, it just reassured guys like what they're running out there is not a joke and it's not a game. So like, I feel like he just shifted the paradigm for me and made him my favorite Chief. Just once I sit back and looked at it, and I got his jersey hanging up in my closet too. So it's probably like I looked at his jersey and I was thinking about like, man, this is probably like he really is my favorite Chief. My girl, I used to talk about him so much. My girlfriend got me his jersey for my birthday one year. So Like, yeah, I think he has to be my favorite all time.
All right, that's respectable. He made quite an impact, and he's led the trail of safeties getting free agent contracts and letting Spags kind of work with these utility knives of some. Who's your favorite current day Chiefs then?
Yeah, favorite current day Chief. My favorite, man, Clint. That's a good question. My favorite as of right now, is it one? Do I get one offense, one defense, or just one? Period.
Sure, you can have whatever you want.
Okay, so one offense. My offensive favorite Chief as of right now is Rashee Rice. I think he's gonna be a yak god. I love what I seen from. I'm not even gonna talk about it, but I'll wait to a different part, save it for later. But Rashee Rice has to be my offensive favorite Chief as of right now. And then my defensive, my favorite. It's kind of hard. I mean, it's so much. I love the defense a lot. I like a lot of them. Everybody, really, I do. But I have to say, Chris Jones. I'll give it to Chris Jones. Just like, cause he's disruptive. Um, just everything he does. He's funny, like charismatic. Like, you're never gonna like, you'll see him flipping out on the sideline, but if you talk to him, you would think like he's a bear, or like he's a big teddy bear. Like, he's not. Like, he's really super duper nice. But like, I know he could flip the switch and probably be like a mammoth of a man, because you could just see how he does other offensive linemen. You can only imagine what he's saying and doing to them. But it's like, he doesn't let the media see that. And he's humongous. Like, Chris Jones in person is like terrifying. Like, because an offensive tackle is big. So to be bigger than an offensive tackle, you are a huge person. Just period. The dimensions of Chris Jones alone. So,
my training camp footage of them just standing around or sitting around. It's like, here's everyone else. That giant is Chris Jones.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like in person.
He's he's ginormous.
So CJ and Rashee, those are two physical specimens right there. Two giants for the positions, and hopefully another opportunity for a Super Bowl here and get this three-peat. My final question for you that has to do with Chiefs fandom. How are you able to overcome and stay true to Chiefs Kingdom during the down years where there wasn't a whole lot going on?
I mean, because we were right there. Like I said, I can go through the playoff losses with you guys. The Titans playoff loss, where we were up and we were beating Marcus Mariota. He throws a pass, he gets tips, he catches it, and runs it into the end zone. That's one heartbreaker. Then you go back to Indianapolis, where we get in and we're winning the game, and then all of a sudden we collapse. Andrew Luck gets his own fumble back and runs it into the end zone. And then, like I said, you go to games like the Steelers game where we're at home and we're winning, and we end up start losing. It's back and forth. You go down there, you score a touchdown thinking you won the game, and there's a holding call, and it gets called back, and next thing you know, you're out. I think we're 3 and out, and we maybe missed a field goal or something like that. Either way, we lost the game. So it's heartbreaking losses. It wasn't like we were down. We did have some losing seasons where we were just like, oh, we got the number 1 pick, but that kept us interested for a little bit. We got Eric Fisher. So that kept us interested, and then, like I said, just the heartbreaking losses. Getting that close and losing, I think, is what builds up your fan base. I think that's why we are the way that we are. Like, for me, you, Shannon, and Dale, just anybody that is a Chiefs fan, I feel like those are why we are fans, and that's why we stayed and continue to be fans. And that's why we really kind of feels like when people come on and they're like, you're kind of like a fair weather fan, or you're trying to say Shannon is only in it for Taylor Swift. Like, no, we were down when we were losing really, really bad. And no one was there. We were the laughing stock of the NFL. It was not cool to wear Chief stuff, like, until Mahomes got here. Like, I just want everyone to know that. Like, even while Alex Smith was here, it was suspect. Like, you were not just seeing people with 11 jerseys on. You were not just seeing a Chiefs fan on every corner. So that's why I'm a fan. Like I said, the heartbreaking losses, and like I said, it wasn't cool just like 10 years ago to be a Chiefs fan.
True. And we get to be the cool crew now. So
yeah, it's so awesome just to be living in this time and just living in the same city. And like I always knew like Kansas City was cool, but just seeing it in the past few years, it's like, oh yeah, we've gotten so much cooler, and it's just gonna go up from here. So
no doubt. So Lonny, we've got a lot more to talk about, but I really appreciate you kind of sharing your background with us and kind of sharing your story. So thank you for that.
No problem. Anytime. We always gotta let people know. Like I said, we're not fair weather friends because I know they down there in the comments trying to test us. Think we just showed up and picked up a headset and a microphone and just started doing this yesterday. Nah, we've been fans. We just letting the world know now.
We got receipts.
Yeah.
If y'all want receipts, you can go look up Arrowhead Pride, Spotify, 2014, 2015. I'm on an episode, bro. I would like 10 years ago, Chiefs podcasts weren't a thing, and I listened to all of them. So don't tell me who ain't a fan of this team or how I feel about it. Because like Lonny said, we've been through some stuff and we continue to go through stuff, but it's because we care and we'll continue to care for them.
Yep.
So before we go on to our topics for today, make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave a like on the video and a comment. Let us know what your favorite part of the episode was. Really want to hear those game day rituals, and just get involved with us. Reach out to us on social media. We're always engaging with people, so you never know. You reach out to us, you may turn into something. And transitioning into that, if you'd like to possibly be on a future episode of the Home of the Chiefs podcast, whether it be for the end of this season or next season possibly, there is a Google Forms in the description, and you can fill that out and we will get back to you and try to schedule something so you can have an opportunity to sit in Lonnie's place and share your story and be a part of Red Kingdom Media as well, and just kind of go from there. Get your feet wet and figure out if this is something you'd like to do and having an opportunity to do it. Maybe you are interested in some articles. Well, you can subscribe to our Substack. We've got 2 subscriptions. We've got a free subscription that will give you access to our daily updates Monday through Friday, both to your newsletter or on the Substack app. Or for a monthly payment of just $5 a month, you can have access to up to 2 paid articles a week, both with Rod's Pick 6 article series and Daily Dale's Extra Point postgame article series. You can have both of those sent to your inbox for just the price of $5 a month. And you subscribe to the paid Substack. Don't forget that when the YouTube channel hits 500 subscribers, we will be doing a giveaway. And being a paid subscriber on our Substack gives you 2 additional entries into that drawing. And so that would better your odds at winning the jersey giveaway. So I'm not advertising that, but if you'd like to possibly increase your odds, that is one way to do so. And last but not least, I'm not currently wearing it, but I'm about to flash it on screen right now. We have shirts. You can go ahead and purchase one of these shirts. Dale and myself are still trying to, kind of finalize this process on the best way to do it. But for right now, you can go ahead and hit the links in the description, and you can message Dale or myself, and we can go ahead and process an order to get you a shirt or many shirts in your possession of all sizes, extra small to 3XL. And hopefully here in the next month or so, we'll have some updates about some other potential merch. For say, a long sleeve, a kid size, a hoodie, a work blazer, a baseball cap, you name it, you name it. So stay tuned for some more info on that. But we are definitely looking forward to getting some shirts or other merchandise in your hands. So hope you all have your chances to hit those up. Let's go ahead and move on to our game portion of this podcast. And the first one has to do with recapping the Ravens. So with Thursday night football officially in the books, 27-20, the Chiefs coming out with a win. What is there to take away from this game over the Baltimore Ravens? And who stood out both on offense and defense?
Yeah, so I think there are some positives to take away on both sides of the ball. I think we obviously see that the deep ball and the speed element is back to the offense. I think that's just the least we could say. We're just seeing that the Xavier Worthy bomb and the end around play. But I just wanted to say that leads me to my standout, which is Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice over the middle, looking Travis Kelce-esque. Just as far as his finding soft spots in the zone, able to put the 1-2 step on a lot of defenders playing man coverage, giving it to any linebacker that decides they're going to decide to line up against Rashee Rice in the slot. I think is going to be a problem, not only for our division opponents and people in our division, but just for the rest of the NFL period. I think Rashee has arrived just as a route runner and just really learning how to play in Andy's offense and play with Mahomes. I think everything that he's done in the offseason with Mahomes, it looks like it's translated. Only thing that's scaring me now is just looming the suspension that looms later on in his career that we know may be coming down the pike. So, but Rashee Rice was a standout for me, going for 104 yards, just killing them over the middle in general, just any type of way. Like I said, it just looks so reminiscent of Travis Kelce. We know Travis Kelce is on the way out. He doesn't have that many more years ahead of him, as many as he has behind him. So I love what I've seen from Rashee Rice. But I also love what I've seen on the defensive side of the ball from our defensive backs, and that, to the likes of Mr. Paper Cups on Instagram, but Jalen Watson, is the rest of the world to know him. I like what I've seen from him, just as far as covering man-to-man. Chris Collinsworth, I think, said it best. The bump and run specialist, a guy that has made his name in the NFL, is just showing up in big games, in big moments, and some of the biggest moments that you could possibly show up. Jalen Watson has found a way to rear his head. So I love what I've seen from him making that play on Zay Flowers down the sideline, because it's going to be a big ask of Jalen Watson during the rest of the season. We have wide receivers, and our wide receivers, when they come to play the Chiefs, they're giving you their best shot. I was telling Dale, you might have been sick all year, but when the Chiefs game shows up on the schedule, you're not sick no more. Your hemis might have hurt 2 days ago, but when the Chiefs came to town, your hemis aren't hurting anymore. Your arm or your leg might hurt, your hands might not be working, but your hands are going to work perfect that day when the Chiefs come to town. Teams find a way to get everything what they need to get going against the Chiefs. So I think it's going to be pivotal that Jalen Watson continues to step up like he did against the Ravens and make some plays, especially when it comes to the deep ball.
I agree. I think that really they were doing so well on the offense, and I watched them go down and score, and I feel like they were just reconnecting in a way that they didn't really connect last year at the first game. And then I feel like the defense, they really are going to have a whole bunch of guys that are going to be very good. I think they just need to be a little more cohesive together. But really, the ones that stood out to me the most on the offense were Rashee Rice, obviously, but Xavier Worthy, he was so good. I feel like he's just going to be such a great asset to this team. He's going to come in and he's going to really ramp up, where I feel like Travis Kelce is going to be taking a little bit of step back, and then he's going to come in, and then Rice is going to come in, and they're going to kind of take over. But on defense, obviously, Chris Jones was my favorite. I feel like he was doing pretty well. He didn't really have that many like big things that happened. He had a couple of sacks here and there. But I feel like he did like what he could do, and he was just kind of letting other guys do it as well and just kind of like following his lead. So I feel like he's going to be a leader this year as well.
Yeah, no doubt. CJ's always running the defense. He had that big strip sack fumble that gave the Chiefs the ball in the red zone. So big play there. He seemed like he was getting double teamed a lot. And that Ravens offensive line was evidently just learning how to line up on an offense on an NFL football field for the first time on Thursday, because there was quite a lot of illegal formation penalties called against them. Mm-hmm. So, maybe just the thought of playing against Chris Jones made them a little bit scared and, adjusted accordingly. But I agree with you, especially about your Xavier Worthy point. Arguably, he had the best game out of all the rookie wide receivers from this draft class. And you can look at the film and see if he wasn't the target for the catch, he was decoy, taking the deep safeties away and allowing Rashee Rice to get open over the middle, or insert whoever else this season may get open because of him. So I agree. This offense is ready to be fireworks. If I get to call out anybody different, I'll call out the offensive line. I think they played a great game. Obviously had like a sack here or there. But for the most part, they were moving the ball. They had a couple penalties, but really didn't hear or see much of them. And that's all you can really ask of an offensive line. But I feel like they're starting to gel as a unit. That line's kind of been solidified since training camp. I know the Wanya Morris conversation had been up in the air, but I think everybody kind of had this as the starting five. And I think they're kind of, like you said, with the defense starting to kind of gel as one single unit. And then in terms of the defense, I just give it up to the secondary. And obviously Trent McDuffie is looking like he's about to be an all-pro corner, and he doesn't fit the prototypical size and build of a corner that's meant to be the best corner in the league and to be the highest paid. He's shorter. He's got smaller arms. Say what you will. He gave up one catch towards the beginning of the game and really just kind of shut down the rest of the game. Had good games against Tyreek Hill last season. So McDuffie is showing himself to be in that upper echelon of cornerbacks and wants his name at the top of the list. And now that the Chiefs no longer have L'Jarius Sneed on their roster, I think that gives Trent McDuffie a shot at getting the spotlight and allowing him to kind of get that national exposure to put himself in that category. And Lonnie, as you said earlier, the Chiefs are playing a lot of primetime games. So it's giving a lot of fans an opportunity to look at Trent McDuffie possibly for the first time and start to see his character and his play style, because he's really taking the league by storm right now.
For sure.
Right.
To say the least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we're hoping to see some more ascension. He's the type of corner that he's not going to get a bunch of stats, and that's kind of the point. The quarterbacks look over there, and he's wrapped around the wide receiver like a snuggie, and there's no getting open on him. So he's just not showing up much in the box score, but he's not getting targeted much either, and that's what counts.
And I just want to say this, or he's making a play like he did on 4th and 1.
Absolutely.
I mean, the stadium erupted. Not only did the stadium erupt, but the sideline erupted. You could just tell. Like Clinton said, undersized, not supposed to be making plays like that at all. That is like just showing the type of moxie and type of defense that we have in Kansas City as of right now. Like, it is, you don't want to see them right now.
Absolutely
Little guy like
not.
that making plays.
I said it in the stands when that tackle happened too. I was like, you gave McDuffie a one-on-one tackle opportunity, and you didn't think he was going to deliver. Clearly, you've never watched him before, because the man can ensure a one-on-one tackle, no doubt. So, shout out to the offense and defense. They're really starting to figure things out. Had a better start to the year than last year, obviously. And their week 2 opponent, as we're about to get into. So that brings us to our final topic, which has to do with the game ahead against the Cincinnati Bengals. They come into Arrowhead, 3:25 Sunday, after what was a very bad performance against the New England Patriots, and they were unsuccessful at getting the victory there. So the Cincinnati Bengals are coming in 0-1. The betting odds for this game, the Chiefs, as of right now, as of recording, are a 6-point favorite. And basically, what are our expectations for this game in what normally in a Chiefs versus Bengals situation amounts to a close battle and a narrow margin?
Yeah, my expectations for this game, or of course for the Chiefs to get a Chiefs win, but these games are always close. This has become a rivalry over the past couple years. I think that's just to say the least. These guys have won. I was funny talking with my barber. He's a Raiders fan, and I was like, the Raiders are not our rival. You have to win to be considered a rivalry. You guys have only won like twice. Probably, twice in like the last, I don't know, like 7 years since he's been here. Like, you guys are horrible. This is not a rivalry. The Bengals are our rival. This is our rival. They want to beat us. If it goes the Raiders and then it goes the Bengals and then it probably is the Ravens. Or you can, the Ravens and the Bengals are interchangeable. They all hate us equally. No, probably the Bills. You can put the Bills in there too. They hate us a lot too because we've stripped the postseason out of their mouth. Couple championships away from them guys multiple times. So they probably hate us too. They're probably all three interchangeable. Nevertheless, it's going to be a close game. We know each other well. Not only does he know us, not only does Zach Taylor know us, we know Lou Anarumo well. We know the Bengals secondary well. I know it's been some changes over there, but we know they still got Mr. Mike Hilton, Mr. Man that claims Arrowhead is Burrowhead itself, the one that started that infamous name. They became famous and led us to 2 more championships, powered us on past the Bengals to their 1 Super Bowl appearance that they have. So it's going to be close. It's going to be a tight game. It's going to come down to the fourth quarter, just like this last game came down to. But I think the Chiefs are going to be prepared. We're coming with a different element, a different offense than what they have seen in years past, and because we haven't had the speed element since losing Tyreek Hill, since that 2021 matchup, which is the last time that they seen us with any type of speed. We had Marquez Valdez-Scantling, but you can call that whatever you want, but it wasn't Xavier Worthy. So it's going to be a close game. I think this is going to come down to, again, how the defenses play, because I think the offenses they're going to get theirs, and the Bengals are going to figure out a way to score on the Chiefs. They did not score on the Patriots, but they do not care. The Patriots are really not a contender. They want to win that game. I'm not saying that they're playing. Bengals are not playing to win, but they're going to show for the Chiefs game. Jamar probably plays and he finds a way to make an impact. So I think the Chiefs have to bring it in the secondary because they're going to show up. The Bengals want to beat us. They're not going into any game, especially with us. It's a potential tiebreaker. Trying to lose it. So we have to show up and win. I think the margin is very, very close, but I think the Chiefs get the victory at the end of the day. And we get to see the Chiefs and Tony Romo, Jim Nantz, 325. Who doesn't want to get to see that again? So sometimes some people hate it because I know it's some bad luck there too. You know, they called our AFC Championship game, called our Super Bowl that we lost. So it's not always the best fortune, but it's always good. It always lives up to the bill. So I think it'll be close, but I think the Chiefs win.
Yeah, I think it'll be close too. Definitely. I feel like it's going to be the fight that we want to see, and we get to see it right away in the season, which is so cool. And that just kind of takes me to like this place where, oh yeah, football is completely back now. It's going to be head to head. It's going to be 2 rivals, 2 teams that are just like neck and neck going at it. and it's going to be so loud. And I feel like with everything going on, I feel like it's going to come down to the last play. And if we don't make any big mistakes, if we don't really if we come out swinging, and if we don't make any big mistakes, I feel like we've got it, and we're gonna come out on top.
I mean, the Chiefs made some mistakes against the Ravens, but the Ravens made enough mistakes of their own that wasn't enough. As Lonny said, you play your best when you play the Chiefs. So we know we're going to get a more focused Bengals team. But it's one thing to note that the Bengals, under their current head coach, do not have a good history when it comes to the early weeks of the season. They are not necessarily a good August to September type NFL team, if you want to call it that. They always have their struggles in the first couple weeks. Some of that may magically get fixed playing against the Chiefs, but it's just, you have to consider that the Bengals have a history of having struggles in the beginning of their season. Just something about the coaching staff and needing the extra time. We've mentioned plenty of times how we've always considered Spags to be a end of season defensive coordinator, where what you see in week one may not be the best version of his defense, and that you have to give it, half of the season or more to really be able to judge what you have. And I think that may be the case for the Bengals offense as well. It's going to be interesting to see if their wide receivers make an impact after neither one making an impact in week one. Without those two players, I really don't think the Bengals have a shot because that is their identity. I mean, Joe Burrow is the quarterback, but I mean, what did we say about last year for Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in the league? Can't get 30 touchdown passes because his wide receivers keep dropping passes. So in football, you're only as good as your teammates. And I'm not sure if we're looking at, a bottom 5 team in the league here with the Bengals shortly, but it is evident that whatever they've tried to do to kind of patch up their team and maybe almost convince themselves that they're at that same level they were to make it to the Super Bowl the year they did. But they've tried to make some adjustments and some quick fixes to their team and on their roster, and it just hasn't worked for them. And if anything, has exacerbated the problem and kind of accelerated the rebuild window for them. I mean, they just paid Joe Burrow this offseason. They're just now giving Joe Burrow all that money and still have been in a contract dispute with Jamar Chase all offseason. And he was threatening to sit out in week one. And by the looks of his box score, he almost should have, because that's what it looks like your effort is. And it's not looking well. So in the last couple years, the Chiefs and the Bengals have faced off against each other. Other than the game where Joe Burrow is not the starting quarterback, it's been a 3-point margin every game. And the Chiefs had only won the game once it was the postseason. So up until last year, and they didn't get the revenge against Joe Burrow, but they finally got that regular season win against them. But now they are looking for that as well. And it almost looks like the Bengals are wounded already. And it's only been 1 week of football. So I don't know what to make of this Bengals team. Like, are they just playing possum to the extreme here? Like, really ready to kind of just swerve us all and put out a performance like none other? Or is week one kind of the indicator? What you see is what you get. And this is a team that has tried to kind of make quick fixes, and neither has stuck. And they all have the same issues that they've been trying to throw money at to fix, and neither has worked. So I want to be confident that, like, yeah, this is a 1 or 2 touchdown win from what I've seen. But because they still have their offensive weapons, assuming they are on the field, T. Higgins is an unknown right now, and Jamar Chase is playing, but not because he's not hurt. But when you have Joe Burrow against you, if they have the ball last, you have to be a little concerned. But I think the fact that this is taking place in Arrowhead should kind of eliminate some of those other jitters. And if we can get something this week that comes out that somebody said something that would make Chris Jones mad, that would be great, and kind of lock in that W. Because if Chris Jones is mad and he wants to get the win, he'll get it on his own. But it's a toss up. I think for me, I could definitely see this as winning by a touchdown or more. But if Joe Burrow and their weapons can figure something out on or by Sunday, they could at least make the point total interesting. But I think in either capacity, I think that this Chiefs team is too good to get caught by the Bengals right now, and not underestimate them for what their performance was last week and judge them based on their pedigree from years before and Joe Burrow on his years before. And I think they're going to treat this game with the attention and respect that it deserves, and ensure they're playing their best game. I'm not saying the Chiefs are going to be perfect and not make mistakes or have a costly turnover. Those seem unavoidable sometimes. But I feel like they're going to come in here ready and know that regardless of what they saw last week, the Bengals are a team that they shouldn't and won't take lightly.
Yeah, so. They're playing Possum. They're playing Possum, and you know what happens. They're playing dead. A Possum can play dead, stop their heartbeat, play dead for almost a week, and still come and be fine. Wake up and walk away perfectly fine. No, treat them like a rabid dog with rabies. Kill them. Put them down.
Just like the Chiefs, we'd like it if you underestimate us a little bit and think we're not as good as we are, so that way we can prove you wrong. So None of us are giving those Bengals that type of credit. We know that you guys are deadly. You just need to start showing it. And whether or not Lonny agrees or disagrees with the point total, you'll have to stay tuned for this week for the episode of Chiefin, where you'll get that score prediction drop and officially have it set in stone what his official betting line is. But that's not what this show is. This show is all about getting to know people and talking Chiefs, and we did a lot of that today. So Lonny, once again, thank you for joining us, and just hope that we have a great rest of the season, and obviously selfishly, let's hope that a 3-peat is in our future. So thank you all for joining us. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Enjoy the game on Sunday. And as always, go Chiefs! Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate your passion, so please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate, your trusted source for all things Chiefs. Red Kingdom Media.